On the original Gran Turismo, several car dealerships had a special model, which is basically a race car with great stats which makes them ideal choices for competing in the toughest competitions. However, they do come with a hefty price tag. So, let's have a look at 2 demos of Gran Turismo to see how these cars changed during the game's development. We start on the earliest GT demo, Gran Turismo Test Drive Disc. This was the original special model for the Honda dealership, which was the Honda Acura dealership in North America of course. The final special model, which you can see on the right, is the Honda NSX-R LM GT2. This early NSX had 2 colour schemes, black and purple, which would ultimately be changed to red and gold. The name of this original Honda special model was simply the NSX LM. Let's fast forward to the slightly later trial version demo disc. The Honda special model had been completely changed from the earlier demo. Instead of the NSX LM, we now have the Honda NSX-R GT. And instead of purple and black colour schemes, we now have blue and black. Regular Gran Turismo players may recognise this NSX, even if they haven't owned or played this particular demo disc. That's because this model would go on to be used as racing modifications for the standard NSX instead, with a couple of logos added to make it less plain. The last thing to mention is that the car did change once again, even after the final game was released in Japan. What you see here on the left hand side of the screen is the Honda NSX GT1 Turbo, which only existed on the Japanese version of Gran Turismo. The car came in red and black colour schemes, which were changed to red and gold on the European and North American NSX-R LM GT2. One final little change to note: on the European version of the game, the car had Honda logos, while on the North American version, it had Acura logos. Next up, we have the Nismo GTR LM, which was Nissan's special model on Gran Turismo. Perhaps surprisingly, this model didn't change that much between the test drive demo, the trial version demo, and the final game. However, one key difference is that it's missing the Nismo logo above the windshield. In fact, both colour schemes exist on the earliest demo, the test drive disc, with the pink version also being nearly complete even at this early stage of the game's development. On the trial version demo, the car doesn't seem to have progressed at all in design. However, it was not alone in this regard, as many other cars had windshield logos added sometime between the trial version demo and the full release. The pink and white colour scheme remains the same as well. The lack of changes to the Nismo GTR LM is probably down to the fact that it existed in real life. And if you want to see more real life cars that inspired Gran Turismo cars, be sure to check out my next video. While the Nismo GTR LM had both its colour schemes on the test drive disc, the RX-7 LM Edition only had one. The purple model hadn't been created yet, just the green one. The model also has placeholder wheels and the missing decal above the windscreen. When the trial version demo was released, the car had been treated to multiple updates. The purple colour scheme has been added alongside the existing green model, the placeholder wheels have been replaced, and the Mazda logo was added above the windshield. Of course, the green model was present on the later trial version as well. It had the same new additions as the purple scheme. The wheels were changed and the Mazda logo was added. In fact, the model appears to be practically finished at this point. Next we have the Toyota special model, the Castrol Supra GT. On the test drive disc, the car was already looking pretty complete, just missing its Toyota logo above the windshield. However, the blue and white colour scheme did not exist yet. Also, it originally appeared as the racing modification for the standard Supra RZ, as well as being a standalone special model. On GT Trial version, the green and white colour scheme now had its additional Toyota logo added above the windscreen, making it pretty much complete, very similar to its final version counterpart. By this point, the blue and white Castrol Supra GT had been added into the game. Like its green and white brother, the car's model was all but finished even at this point of the game's development, when other cars were far from it. On the early test drive demo, only the yellow colour scheme for the Mitsubishi GTO LM Edition existed. Its grey model was yet to be created. Note the placeholder wheels and also the missing Mitsubishi logo above the windscreen, very similar to the RX-7 LM Edition. By the time the trial version demo was released, the development of the GTO LM Edition had moved forward. Its grey colour scheme had now been added, but it was a lighter grey than the car would appear in on the final game. The yellow model remained fairly unchanged between the test drive and trial version demo releases of the game. However, the car now had its Mitsubishi logo added above the windshield and also had its wheels changed, although these would be changed again to gold rims. Last but certainly not least is the Subaru Impreza Rally Edition. It originally started out looking more like the real life car that it was inspired by, the Impreza WRC used in the 1997 World Rally Championship. In fact, the car's name here was the Impreza WRX WRC. Fast forward to the trial version demo and the car looked a lot more like how it appeared on the final game. Presumably it was changed to be less like the real life Impreza for licensing reasons, although it still bears a great resemblance to the actual Impreza rally car. Both colour schemes are pretty much complete, aside from an area towards the front of the hood that appears darker than the rest of the car. It just seems like this part of the car hadn't had its reflections added, probably an error that was later fixed. And that wraps up this video showcasing the special models from the original Gran Turismo, shown in their beta forms during the course of the game's development. Thanks for watching.